Welcome all, welcome everyone to Unity, to the love and light that is Unity of Lawrence. Particularly, let's welcome those on Zoom and Facebook. As you know, in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us and listen to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our hearts to peace on earth. We appreciate everyone's spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity, with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. In harmony with this truth, we live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Amen. As you know, our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see Diane after today's service at the front of the sanctuary. Our chaplains will also pray for you during the week. Fill out a prayer request slip and place it in the wooden box outside the office. Chaplains can also visit in times of need. Please let the office know. Remember, all prayers are confidential. And now for a moment with our board president.
Thank you, John. Here's our moment together. No, it's great to see you all. Pardon me. The board met this last Wednesday, and we're busy bees, but a few things I want to share is as of March 31st, we're at 82% of our budget for income, okay? And we now have a community board out in the foyer. You may have noticed it before. But if you have, oh, Michelle's modeling it, right? Thank you, Vanna. Vanna Michelle is out there showing us where it is. Thank you. So if you have, you're looking for a job or you need somebody for an employment at your company, or if you're selling an antique, or if you need housing, or if you may post things there. And then we want them up and down like within 30 days or so, just to keep the flow, okay? So watch your announcements there. We have a new renter coming into the building in a couple weeks. In one of the rooms downstairs, she's a massage therapist. And we have another possibility that it's not official yet, right? Okay. There's another one also for another office downstairs that we're hopeful for. So that's exciting and will help with our income and so forth. We also have hired a marketing and social media person who needs to come forward, but she needs a little encouragement to come forward. Sarah Freeman. Just in case you don't know Sarah Freeman, yeah, she's our new hero in the social media marketing space and has already gotten started, posting left and right, and she loves to use her camera, so look out. So, no, we thank you so much. It's such a relief to have someone who's going to consistently be able to do that. So let's cheer her on one more time. Yay! Okay, and there's other stuff, but there's two other things I'm going to share today. See this form? It's called the Unity Volunteer Profile Form. See that? And there's a stack of them out there in the foyer as well, out where Vanna is. And if you've ever volunteered here, or if you're currently volunteering here, we want to know all about it. So please fill this out and give it to Kathy or me, okay? Kathy Moreland or myself. And then one more thing, Betty Wilson says, thank you, 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 thank you. She can't thank you enough for your prayers, your support, your kindness, your care. She said it's all working. So thank you all very much. Yes? Yes. Oh, yeah. Great. The first YOU meeting Wednesday, April 17th at 6:30. Okay, and Jay Pryor is the leader. Is Robin working with you, Robin Loomis, or you're going to do that for sure? Okay. All right, so if you have questions, Jay Pryor. Yes, this is for teenagers, okay? Thank you.
And now, please rise as you're able and join Holly in singing Thank You for This Day.
All right, I think we do have so much to be thankful for today. So let's sing this together. Here we go. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. We're so thankful today. We want to say hello for just a brief moment to everybody. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. And here we go again, we're saying, thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful day. This wonderful, my wonderful, this wonderful day. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. This glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life.
Thank you all. And now it is time for our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. Together, united in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And now our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. Together, we are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And now please welcome our special music guest, Sugarfoot Detour.
It's good to see everybody. And I've got this song that I wrote a while back. I had help with Rita from it, but also my niece. I was standing there working on the middle part of it, and I said, I need a sentence with 3 words, the third word rhyming with the syllable E. And she thought for a minute, and she said, I am we. And I thought, brilliant. You're now a co-writer on this song. But this is a song that we are all spiritual travelers. And sometimes we get weary. And so the song is called Weary Traveler. It's been a long, some time since the morning I've walked for miles. My feet are burning and bruised. But the path ahead of me seems never ending. A yellow glow that keeps me tattered and used. And the breeze keeps sifting when the moon starts to glow by the dust out on the road where the weary traveler goes. When the lightning struck the ground, I heard a thunder. The stones came down in a dusty wall. But the sun broke through the clouds and tore asunder all the pain between us all. And the breeze keeps sifting when the moon starts to glow by the dust out on the road where the weary traveler goes. Lightning veils were draped across our stark reality. We'd been lost inside a self-inflicted pain. After centuries astride this broken stream of misery, I am walked into the fate of the prophecies, the truth he told, we're all divine. He carried poor along with all the aristocracy, so we could know he left a sign. And the breeze keeps us sifting when the moon starts to glow by the dust out on the road where the weary traveler goes. Softening veils are draped across our stark reality. We've been lost inside a self-inflicted pain. After centuries astride this sparkling stream of misery, I am
Thank you, that was fantastic. Robin Goff is founder and spiritual leader of the Light Center, a Unity Service Ministry retreat center near Baldwin City, Kansas. For the past 29 years, she has spearheaded the creation of a sacred space on a 95-acre sanctuary near Baldwin. Robin is also a licensed Unity teacher. Welcome, welcome, Robin.
I think I'm wired. Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, everybody, on this beautiful spring-like day. Oh, I love it. So we're going to talk about regenerativeness. Is regeneration part of your household language now? You know, it's kind of come up in the last year or two, really, big time. Regenerative agriculture, regenerative living. So really, I want to look more today at the whole big picture, which is a vast, vast topic. If we think of shifting into a regenerative culture, that's a big undertaking, and yet we're going to take it. in little pieces too. So regenerative living doesn't keep things the same. It creates a cycle of rebirth that makes the planet and all living things more resilient. So it's about the resilience of life. So you think about the Easter story, which we've just been through last week. That is really a modeling of life going on and on in other forms. So we have death and we have ongoing life all the time in all aspects of the earth, all aspects of humanity. And so thinking differently about life and what that thing is an important piece for us to all look at and take on. So I started out my walk with regenerative agriculture. And I went to lots of courses and farm tours looking into regenerative agriculture and what that's all about. And I went to this marvelous farm south of Ottawa, and this man took us around and showed us how he was rotationally grazing his animals. Are y'all familiar with that concept? A lot of you are. So you take animals and put them in a more concentrated way in fencing, and then you move them in a few days to the next place, the next place, the next place. So it's very labor intensive because you're constantly moving your stock around. But the idea is those, especially the cloven hoofs, chop up the soil. And this is what buffalo did for us way back when. You know, they chopped up the soil. They left their waste matter there. They ate things along the way, and it kept our soils healthy. So I'm told that we had 6 to 12 feet of topsoil here way back when the whole Midwest was like the breadbasket of the world. You know, this soil was so deep and rich. And the native grasses and plants put their roots down 12, 15 feet down into the soil. And so they weren't blown away in the wind. They were able to drink up from the soil deeply the nutrients and water that they needed. Brilliant system, but then we kind of messed with it a little bit. We started tilling everything up and planting monocultures. And that has degraded the topsoil in many, many ways. Not only that we have destroyed the soil structure with the tilling, but also we started dumping a lot of chemicals on it, which then interfered with the natural flow. So I loved that idea of rotational grazing, and I added all this acreage onto the Light Center, and I thought, oh, great, we'll do that. And then it's like, you know how much money it takes to fence the perimeter of a big piece of land? Thousands, you know? And then you've got to buy animals. And then you've got to learn how to take care of them. And then you've got to rotationally graze them, move them around. And I just got kind of discouraged. Like, okay, I'd like to go there and think I'm going in that direction, but most of us aren't doing that, right? We have a house and a yard, but we're not rotationally grazing animals, right? And so I thought, okay, so that's neat for those guys, but it doesn't include me. So then I started exploring it a little bit more, and I come to find that regenerative ways of farming and growing go a lot deeper than that. It's not just about the rotational grazing, which I think is brilliant, and maybe we'll get there. So we have a worm farm at the Light Center. We use worm castings when we plant things. We have done Johnson Sioux composting. I don't know if you've ever heard that term. You make a big bin and you fill it up with all the usual compostable type stuff and you keep it wet. But it's a system that aerates the compost as it's forming, and it creates the maximum amount of microbes possible in a compost. And so that really grabbed my attention because I really believe that the microbes are at the heart of the issue. You know, we destroy microbes when we rototill and when we add chemicals and so forth. So that is the life force in our soil. So composting is really so juicy to me. I don't know what it is. I love to compost. you know? I'm always, let's put this in our compost. I go around and I get alpaca poo from those people, and I get horse poo from those people, and cow poo from those people, and we have chicken poo, and we have goat poo, and I just love it. It just feels so enlivening to the whole garden and to me. And I think because of that, we bring in a real variety of nutrients into our gardens. So we can all decrease the amount of chemical stuff that we're dumping into this planet. And we can do that more and more intentionally all the time. Perhaps you've already gone there in your own yard. Hopefully, you're not spraying, killing the dandelions. The dandelions pull up nutrients from down deep, and they're plentiful at the Light Center now. It's a field of yellow, and I like it that way. They're not hurting anything, you know. It's just a notion that we've been taught that we shouldn't have dandelions in our grass. So we have been working with the permaculture folks in the area for a long, long time. We're part of the permaculture collective here. And they bring their students from KU and K-State to the Light Center to teach about alternative building methods, because we're implementing a lot of alternative ways of building and learning about all that. And so I also kind of stepped back from thinking I was a permaculturist, because I've never taken the course. I don't have a permaculture design certificate, you know. And I thought, well, I don't really know all the stuff that those people know. I don't know all the science behind it. I don't know all the chemistry of implementing your soil or adding implements to your soil. I just do it by adding compost, you know? And so I didn't ever feel as if I was truly, truly practicing permaculture, but then I've dug in deeper to that. And permaculture is a way of life. It's a whole culture. And so it isn't just about growing a garden. So every one of us can be practicing permaculture in our lives. So it's about kind of things like reducing our energy demand. Think about the things that produce heat in your home, and how can you use less of that. So I hang my clothes out on the clothesline. Anybody else do that? Yeah, it takes a little bit more time maybe, but you know what? I have this moment outside in the beautiful day, and I look at the birds and the blue sky, and I enjoy being out there. It's not a job, it's like a little mini break outdoors. Get away from that computer. Also, in South Africa, I learned about the hot water bottle. If you use less heat, fossil fuel, to heat your home, it's chilly. Your bed might be cold at night. And so you take a hot water bottle, fill it with warm water, put it in your bed, and your bed's warm before you even get there. That's something our grandparents all knew, yeah? And we forget. We think we have to turn the heater up. We have to use electricity. We have to use gas, whatever it is, and heat up more. So there are little things, little steps that we can do. But you know, it's not that far back that all the farms out here had no electricity. It's maybe 2 generations. And some of you may even be able to remember that, generations back in your own family or friends, where people were living without electricity. Can you imagine that in this climate? We're so acclimated to climate control now that we don't even know how is it possible for humans to do that. But I watch my husband, and he's my role model because he is very able to live in whatever temperature conditions there are. He's outside working all the time, all year round. Because he worked outdoors for his whole career, his body adjusted somehow. And so I'm learning from him, and I'm really finding my ways to live without air conditioning. We almost never turn on our air conditioner. And I'm learning how to live without heat. We have a wood stove, and there's periods of time where we don't turn the wood stove on yet because it's not the right date to do that in our house. And then we turned it off early this year because February got warm, right? So that means when it's freezing some of these nights, we don't have a heat source on. But I figured it out, I've learned, I've found my ways, and I'm getting there. I'm certainly not a pioneer person. Can you imagine being in a wagon train through these hills? Over my head. So I think it's about the expectations that we've learned. We all have a car, probably in this room, maybe more than one, and we know that we can jump in the car and go anywhere we want to anytime. And so we don't use as much thought as we could to consolidating our trips, making fewer trips. Now, because we're way out in the country, I do that. I come into Lawrence and it takes me hours to do my errands because I save them all up. And I go from here to here to here to here to here. And carpooling is another thing. Carpooling helps use fewer vehicles. How many of us really, truly do carpool? Do we go out of our way to figure out how we could go together and make it work so we could travel together into Kansas City or out to the Light Center or wherever we're going that's a little bit more of a distance? So it's about thinking differently. So when I'm in South Africa in this little town, where I'm staying, none of these people have cars. And it's really a learning experience for me on a hot day. If I want food, I've got to walk up and get it. And then I've got to carry it back with heavy bags, So you adjust the way you do things. And you can save up and take one trip with your friend's car. Have a friend come and pick you up, and you all go together and load up all at once. So it's little adjustments, but they are not as convenient, are they, to what we've learned to do. So it's like setting our rheostat, figuring it out little by little. So all of us can be part of this movement to use less chemicals. So we complain about the farmers dumping pesticides and herbicides. But isn't it easier to clean your oven with the toxic stuff? Or the grease in your kitchen? I'll just get the toxic stuff and spray that on. And yet, really, everything we need can be done with vinegar and baking soda. We know that. So it's about adjusting our thinking to do things in different ways that maybe you didn't grow up being taught those ways. You didn't learn that. And TV's taught us a whole lot of stuff like, here's a faster, easier way to clean your oven. Yeah. So it's little steps, and don't they seem little when we're talking about a planet that is moving very, very fast toward an extinction period? But if enough people are doing enough small steps, it does make a difference. It does add up. And it makes a difference in the way you're thinking, doesn't it? The way you feel about your environment around you, in your own garden, in your own yard, in your own kitchen. So we do it anyway. So I have been listening to Zach Bush. How many of you are fans of Zach Bush? Oh my. Okay, well, this is your homework assignment. You go home and type in Zach Bush and see what comes up. He's an MD, and he's talking about everything I'm talking about today in this talk. It's like, oh, I should have listened to him before I wrote this talk. I would have had all this already fleshed out. He's a brilliant, brilliant man, and he started out in conventional medicine and conventional research, and now has shifted entirely into a holistic way of working with people that I love. I love everything that this guy talks about, and he does talk about regenerative agriculture. And he's got a talk where he explains how when we started using Roundup, glyphosate, instead of just using it as a weed killer, we figured out that you could spray it all over all the wheat, and that would help it to dry. It's a desiccant, so it dries the seeds before they harvest them so they won't rot or mildew or whatever. And so now, all of a sudden, we have this massive gluten intolerance, which is actually a glyphosate intolerance. And now they're also doing this with soy. Look at how many products that you put in your mouth have soy in them. So this is like, ah! So Zach Bush's comment is, humans are not Roundup ready, okay? We see all these things, the increase in cancers, the increase in ADD, ADHD, autism spectrum, all of that consistently moves along with our use of glyphosate. And the more we're using glyphosate, the more we're seeing these disease conditions and disruptive conditions. So, listen to Zach Bush, if you will. I love the guy. So, there's this notion, excuse me, I'm a little froggy, that technology will take care of us. Technology can do it. We'll let AI take over everything. And there's even something going on with AI bringing more oil out of the ground. But the problem with that is it also consumes an enormous amount of energy, fossil fuel, to make AI work. And so it's not truly a clean answer to where we're going, and it doesn't necessarily have a heart in it. NVIDIA is worth more than all energy companies combined. NVIDIA is the company that has an enormous monopoly on AI. And so that tells me something. If they have more power economically than all power companies combined, this is scary. You know, we better be paying attention to that and how much power they're going to have as we move ahead. So I think that the health of our children is more important than just about anything I can think about. So we have moved from a play-based childhood to a phone-based childhood. And there's a book called The Anxious Generation, How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness by Jonathan Haidt. My son just sent me this book, and there's a whole bunch of it you can read online. And talks a lot about this, how our children need to be less supervised out in nature. They need that wildness. They need that unsupervised time. We all had that, or a lot of us did, as little kids, where we climbed the trees, and yeah, maybe you could fall out. Is it dangerous? Yeah, maybe. But you also had this exhilarating experience of climbing that tree and stealing the cherries up there. And so our kids are over-supervised outdoors because we have to protect them from everything. And they're under-supervised on devices, which are truly much more damaging to them than any danger that lurks outside. So, The Anxious Generation, if that rings your bell, go after that. Then we've probably, most of us, certainly I have, thought, well, you know, the government will fix things. Eventually the government will wake up and it's going to change everything. No, we're finding that that's not happening. And so the whole thing of politics is in an impasse of fighting over my way versus your way. And so fairly soon, when we have the next presidential election, at least a third of our country is going to become ballistic, no matter who wins. That's where we've found ourselves because of this impasse that we're in. So we are actually in more of a values crisis than anything I can describe. It's a matter of what really, really can change this thing from the grassroots level. So we have been bought and sold. We all are participating in this culture, this American culture that is corporate driven. We see it, we know it, and yet we're still participating, all of us. So how is it then that we shift? And I think that the thing that makes the most sense to me is figuring out how we come out of this place of separation into a place of connection. Because separation is what is keeping us in this state of dis-ease in so many ways. So for me, that's about building bridges. And I've had an experience over the Easter week of going back to Philadelphia and reuniting with my sister, who I've been estranged from basically my whole adult life. We hated each other when we were little kids. We fought, we shared a room and we fought, and we divided the room down the middle. And something has happened. My daughter moved in with her daughter, and they're getting along great. There's been a religious divide in our family, and it sort of melted away. It's like we didn't talk about theology. We talked about life and kids and fun, and we had a Thanksgiving dinner together with our extended families. For Easter, we had a Thanksgiving dinner. So I came home from that, and I had this experience, like a download of, okay, what just happened here? This is incredible. I'm so thrilled to be reconnected with my older sister. So, and all of her family. So these are the things that came through, and I'll go just through this kind of quickly. So when a new sibling is born, the older one may often think that they don't really want that one there because they're going to lose their parents' attention to the little one. And sometimes they do, at least when they're babies, you know. And so the antidote to that is realizing that love is unlimited. That even if you have this notion that your parent favors one sibling, you have that in your house? That really and truly those parents have enough love for everybody, for all these children. But it's a trick to teach that to kids. We need to think of that. If you think that you had to be better than your sibling in any way, the antidote to that is your gifts are the same as mine, or your gifts are uniquely yours, but they're as valuable as mine. So I remember that if my sister did art, I didn't have anything to do with art. If my sister played the piano, I didn't play the piano. You might have stories like that from your childhoods. I see some nodding. And so I would avoid everything that she was about so I could have my own place to shine. I also noticed that even if your beliefs differ from someone else, that doesn't mean you have to dislike them. This is a real challenge right now for us, because if we can't be talking to the people who have a different politics, a different religion, a different belief system than our own, we're going to remain in separation. We all need to be crossing these bridges. I had a very lovely conversation with my next door neighbor, and he's a conventional farmer, but now he's practicing regenerative agriculture. And we were like all of a sudden on the same page and talking about all these things and the kids on technology and da-da-da-da, and it was magical. I didn't ever know that could happen, that we could cross these bridges. We can also be poisoning each other with negative ideas. I get an idea about that person, what I think about them, and then I tell it to you, and you talk with the next person about it. And we all of a sudden start this thing going of making that person bad or wrong. And that's not true. We can learn, and I've had experiences with this also in Philadelphia, that people can be different than what we thought they were. They can have at their heart the same things that I hold in my heart, the same value system, yeah? And then I also thought, honestly, that hurt stays forever, that the hurts from my childhood will always be with me. I never thought I could just get rid of that. And something has happened so that it all has melted away. And I think we must be in a time period where that can happen very quickly, in the dawning of Aquarius. And so shifting that story, that the story I've held forever and ever my whole life can all of a sudden melt away. And I can open myself to a new story. And it takes a willingness to do that, a willingness to explore. But I can just let it all go, all the old story, and allow myself to move into the new. So, Charles Fillmore writes a lot about regeneration. His concept is from the understanding that it was the natural restoration of the physical body to its original state of wholeness. He believed that regeneration was the result of consciousness being fully aligned with the true nature of the Supreme Being, which is absent of any degenerative energy patterns induced by stress, of awareness which have resulted from the belief in separation. So, mending our thoughts of separation is crucial to where we are right now. If you look in the dictionary for a definition of nature, it talks about the mineral kingdom and the plants and the animals and all these things that are part of nature, with the exception of humans and everything made by humans. That is the definition. We somehow have bought into being separate from nature. We have been taught that we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden because we were evil. No, I don't buy any of this separation thinking anymore. It's like old thought. We need to rewrite the dictionary, people, you know? So what I believe is that nature is already adapting to this change in the temperatures on our planet. The birds are moving, the insects are moving, the plants. We had armadillos showing up on our farm. You know, it's like things are moving in response. They don't watch TV. They don't know there's global warming going on. They just know in their own intellect that they need to move. Stuff is happening. Nature knows how to adapt to everything. And so when we put ourselves back into nature, we are part of that adaptation too. It's already in us. It's natural. It will happen. It is happening. And so the way we enhance that is by coming together with other people and talking just like this together about how can I let down my old stories of how it has to be and open to new stories of creation, being the stewards of this planet to create the world the way we want it to be, the way we know it can be, the more beauty than we have even yet begun to imagine. It is here, it is coming, it is birthing, and we need to be able to do this in the midst of some pretty rough stories that are out there, some pretty rough stuff that's happening all around the planet. Yet we are the ones to hold the truth of connection, the oneness to all that is, to all of nature, to all beings, to all people, who, even the ones who don't think the way I think or speak the way I think. Yeah. And so that's where we're going. So Zach Bush calls this quorum sensing. I'm so glad there's a term for it. Quorum sensing, which means that when we come together and we work in small groups and we witness each other's healings and we witness what's working for people and what's working in the planet, that everything moves toward a hyper-intelligence that will just take it and run with it. Shifts happen instantaneously. I've witnessed it in my life, I've witnessed it in my family, and I don't know how it happened, but I don't care. It is a time for healing beyond anything we have begun to imagine. So let's go there together. And so it is.
I was told a few minutes ago that Mercury is in retrograde. So if I forget a lyric or, you know, miss a chord, yeah, that's the ticket. Anyway, and I'm so happy to be singing with Holly, and she's such an amazing musician. And kudos to my great friend, Ross, who is always there with wonderful bass lines, and the sound people. All these things to make it work behind the scenes. still, meandering mind. Thrive on your absence away from me. Don't throw your tireless, wearisome babbles at me. Breathe in slow, opulent light. Exhale the madness of constant thought. Drink from the oceans of wisdom and sumptuous love.
Let the silence begin. Let it flow from within. Hush now, tranquility cradles the depths of your being.
Breathe in slow, opulent light. Exhale the madness of constant thought. Drink from the oceans of wisdom and sumptuous love.
Let the silence begin. Let it flow from within. Hush now, tranquility cradles the depths of your being.
Thank you. Now let's move to the depths of our being. Take a few deep breaths. Noticing your connection to the Earth's atmosphere. It's part of you. It's in every cell in your body. You're part of this earth. Feel your body relaxing, letting go. Your cells are made from the food that you eat. The food is grown on this good green earth. You are part of the soil, the plants, the trees. Their energy moves in you. So feel yourself, your innermost self, as it merges with the innermost self of planet Earth. What does that feel like? There is pure, nourishing energy filling this planet, filling the air, the soil, the plants, the water, and all of that moves in and out of your body all the time. So feel into the spirit that dwells in this planet. Enlivening every cell all around this good earth. In every being that walks on this earth, on this good land. And now feel how that same spirit is in you. This force called life is in you, and it will go on forever. Changing form, but always continuing. The spirit that is in you right now is in every other person, regardless of their thoughts. Is in every being that swims and crawls and flies and walks. So for a moment, feel that life force, that spirit in you, in your cells, in every cell, vibrating. And let's add some sound vibration to that vibration in our cells. Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word is vibration. So just take it in deeply to every part of your being. And the presence of pure spirit brings life into every cell in your being and nourishes you, heart and soul and body, all the time, every day. And for our ever deepening understanding of this truth, we do give thanks. And so it is. Oh.
Our friend Holly wrote this next song, and I worked up my own version to it, and she is graceful enough to come and sing it with me, her own song. It's called No Apologies, and for those of you who have listened to her music and paid attention to her lyrics, they're not trite at all. There's a lot of deep meaning into it. You have to listen to it more than once. Anyway, this is how the song goes. When your life falls down into a silent compromise, I can see it through your eyes, there's no hope in sight. When you're trying way too hard to be someone you are not, and you convinced yourself it's the safest lot. We're way too polite, making sure we don't shine too bright, hidden from our own birthright, like we're gonna hurt somebody's eyes. There are no apologies accepted for who you are. You are the brightest star that ever shined for me. But what if you're the lighthouse to show the sailors all the way to the safe house on the bay? We wouldn't come through space and time to be victims of the crime of the victim, the birth of our soul. We wouldn't come through space and time to be less than our divine, for we are greater than quantified by soul. We wouldn't come here to be anything less. We wouldn't come here to be anything less. We wouldn't come here to be anything less than whole. When we humble ourselves down to the negative, we negate the very grace that we are made of. The imperative to just get by just gets in the way of the things we want to say and who we really are. It's our journey to listen and to hear, and not to give in to the fears of mere illusion. We're older, we're wiser, we try hard not to fall. We don't want to risk it all, so we build more walls. What if you're the ocean and we're behind those walls and we couldn't say it at all? Why would we come through space and time without a blueprint and design tailor-made of the potentials of our soul? Wouldn't come through space and time to be less than our divine, for we are greater than and quantified by soul. We didn't come here to be anything less. We didn't come here to be anything less. We didn't come here to be anything less than whole. What if we came through space and time, peered through a looking glass divine? Would you believe your eyes to see your shining?
Thank you. As our ushers come forward for a time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and so it is. As the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing Return Again.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to what you are, return to who you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Thank you, Holly. As our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful and we bless the flow of good that supports our Unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. Now for opportunities, a very special welcome to our guests today. If you are joining, thank you for joining us. If you would like more information about Unity of Lawrence and the Unity movement, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer. We're going to try again. Sunday Lunch Bunch is meeting at Globe South Indian, 619 Massachusetts Street. Everyone is welcome. Due to our kitchen goddesses, AAK Betty's illness, the potluck is canceled for next week, April 14th. Potluck returns on Mother's Day, May 12th. Italian class with Francesca is canceled. We want to acknowledge our fabulous volunteers who enable Unity to run so smoothly. Please pick up a volunteer profile form in the foyer so we can thank you for serving our community. Remember, Open Meditation with Phil Roger meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. As was stated earlier, we'll be starting a Youth of Unity chapter here at UOL. If you have a teen between the ages of 14 and 18 and want more information, please contact Jay. And the first meeting is April 17th. Poetry Extravaganza, this is this Friday, April 12th, 7 p.m. A great evening is planned. And if you missed the last one, try to make this one. It was great the last time. We'll be hoping a Taizé service on Friday, April 26th at 6 p.m. Taizé is a powerful form of music known for its simple yet rich and meditative character. Everyone is welcome. And please join us next week when Reverend Jen Hutchinson brings us the message, Magic and Miracles, special music with Stephanie Bland. And now it's time to stand if you're able and sing the peace song.